Greetings everyone, this is Daylin again from AI. And if you don't know what AI stands for, it's Abuse Insights. I've decided to keep my face off camera because I want you to focus on my words. I want you to understand that too many of us out here are struggling. Too many of us are living with pain, are living with regrets. Too many of us are afraid of talking about their past experiences. Too many of us are living with abused memories, with the scars, the visible and the non-visible ones. Too many of us are suffering from low self-esteem. Too many of us are led to believe that they are nothing. Someone said the other day, and this is so true, that the global pandemic is nothing compared to abuse, because there are so many people, children, being abused right now. Many unheard stories. But I want to help to make a difference, to help you to understand that you're not alone. You're not alone. And you are not to be blamed for whatever it is that has happened to you. You are a victim. What I want to explain today is the misconception of abuse. To be precise, child abuse. Many abuse occurred in our childhood days. And as a child, innocent child, you're scared of talking. You're scared of anyone knowing. In fact, in some cases, children don't even realize they've been abused until they are grown and they're exposed to the truth. So what I want to explain to you is just a few misconceptions about child abuse and what many believe. Because many believe that child abuse is just physical and sexual. Child abuse is made up of different types of abuse: sexual, physical, emotional, and verbal, many of which can be broken down into small but common abuses often overlooked. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services reported that 78% of child abuse reports were due to neglect. Neglect is the failure of a parent, guardian, or other caregivers to provide for a child's basic needs, physical necessities of food or shelter, lack of appropriate supervision, provision of the necessary medical or mental health treatment, failure to educate a child or attend to a special education needs, inattention to a child's emotion needs, to provide physical, to provide psychological care, and to protect the child from the use of alcohol or drugs, to name a few. So let's look at some of the myths and facts of abuse / childhood abuse. Myth: if everyone is being abused, you would know. If they need help, they would ask for it. Fact: firstly, when the abuse occurred amongst young children / in childhood, children would naturally be clueless to know if it's right or if it's wrong. In some cases, I would say, depending on the age of the child. They may want to speak to another adult about it, but perhaps they may be groomed to say nothing. Some children have brought the issue to light. Then they're told that he or she is lying, which makes it impossible for the victims to be rescued. Myth: abusers are always aggressive to the victim and can be spotted easily. Fact: abusers are often family members, family friends, disguised as charming and charismatic and trustworthy, made it possible for the development of trust and strong feelings between the abuser and the victim, making it difficult for the victim to recognize the signs of abuse. Often the pattern of abuse is followed by silent jealousy, in some cases violent episodes accompanied by tearful apologies and loving and or kind gestures. Sometimes the victim is the only one who sees the manipulative side of the abuser. Myth: parents who apply physical punishment to their children are considered bad and unloving people. Fact: it is biblically written that we should discipline our children. Most parents love their children and do not mean to hurt them. Their action to apply physical punishment to discipline their child can be of cultural and religious belief/teaching intently for their children to do well, to live an upstanding life and away from unlawful activities. Myth: abuse only occurs in poor families living in lower class areas compared to families with great wealth, and victims of abuse come from poor families only. Fact: abuse is no respect of race, ethnicity, nationality, class. Abuse happens in all parts of the world, even in our schools and our churches. Myth: abusers are often strangers and are easily identified. Abusers can be from all walks of life, but as I've previously mentioned, abusers are often those who we trust. And that's why most abuse is committed by someone the victim knows and trusts. Close family members, upstanding citizens, to include teachers, doctors, social workers, and religious leaders, to name a few. Many of us have experienced abuse in our childhood days, teenage years, some of us in our early adulthood years. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services reported that 86% of child abusers are parents or other relatives. Myth: child abuse is rare, and most abuse victims have acted in a way to invite the abuse to occur. Fact: the child is always the victim. The victim is always the victim. The blame is solely on the abuser. Myth: survivors of abuse become abusers. Fact: this is partly true. In some cases, the cycle of abuse will still exist, where abused adults also abuse their children too. Other survivors of abuse can be very loving and protective people with the intention to live as a better person, a better parent, and a protector to other children. Many survivors, both male and female, grow into adulthood accomplished great success, such as Oprah Winfrey, Maya Angelou, Tony Robinson, to name a few, and they have impacted many lives. But it is factual that several successful personnel is still suffering in silence from the pain of their past abuse, whilst many others are stuck, suffering from low self-esteem, struggling with the lies pronounced over their lives. A contributor to people living a less deserving life because their abusers has robbed them of a life of purity. Fact: the impact of child abuse can no doubt last for a lifetime, even intergenerational impacts, which can also be linked to later physical, psychological, and behavioral consequences. So, for those who thinks that someone who has been abused should get over it, I would like to tell you it's easily said than done. you would only understand if you're in that person's shoes. Thank you for listening. Do like and share the video and help us to strengthen another of our sister and our brother. Help us to tell them. Help us to get them to understand. Help us to help others. Help us to spread the word. Helping each other to grow through these moments, painful moments that were forcefully brought into our lives.